Burton leading the charge. Swinging that thing to repair.
Defense leading to offense.
Indiana Fever just got swept by an expansion team is absolutely shocking. Is getting really very serious now. And fans are anxious, furious, and above all, frustrated because they want an answer. Why does Stephanie White always get outcoached, leaving this team completely unprotected?
We are making shorter, precise, and on-point videos on latest news so we could save your precious time. So please watch till end to get complete and accurate information about your favorite WNBA star. So let's get started.
The second we saw that final score, 75-63, fans lost it completely. Not because it was shocking, but because it was so obvious and predictable. I mean, you did not need to be a basketball genius to see this disaster coming. You just need to watch this team play under Stephanie White's coaching. Watch how they blow rotations after every defensive breakdown. Something about this coaching just wasn't moving right. You could see it wasn't normal. Meanwhile, the front office stays quiet. The media stays quiet. And Stephanie White keeps coaching like her job doesn't depend on it. Because, well, maybe it doesn't. So with this video, we're pulling the curtain back on what really happened during that embarrassing loss. Why Stephanie White is catching heat from every corner of Fever Nation. And how this franchise is sleepwalking towards one of the biggest blown opportunities in WNBA history. But before we move on, if you think it's time to fire Stephanie White after this coaching disaster, write "Fire White" in the comments. Let's show this organization how many people are fed up with his mediocrity. Let's start with the cold, hard facts. The Indiana Fever just got swept by the Golden State Valkyries. Swept by an expansion team. We're talking about a franchise that literally just started playing professional basketball, and they're treating us like we're their personal punching bag. The Fever have now dropped to the 8th and final playoff seed, hanging on to postseason hopes by the thinnest of threads. This isn't just a bad loss, folks. This is a pattern. This is systematic failure. And it all starts at the top with Stephanie White lies and her absolutely disastrous coaching. Here's what's really grinding my gears. Wasn't defense supposed to be Stephanie White's superpower? Wasn't that the whole selling point when they brought her in? Oh, she's a defensive mastermind. She'll turn this team around. Well, where the hell was that defense tonight? The Valkyries shot over 50% from the field and went 12 of 19 from three-point range. 12 of 19. They were getting wide open catch-and-shoot threes all night long because our rotations were slower than molasses. And speaking of patterns, let's talk about something that should have every Fever fan losing sleep, the parallels to White's time at Vanderbilt. Remember what happened there? She took a program and ran it straight into the ground. The same lack of adjustments, the same stubborn adherence to systems that clearly weren't working, the same inability to get the most out of talented players. Sound familiar? Because it should. We're watching the same movie just with different actors. Remember when Stephanie White first came to Indiana? Remember those promotional videos where she was preaching to the team about how communication was the key to winning? What a hypocrite! Practice what you preach, coach! Where was that communication tonight when players were blowing rotations? Where was that leadership when the team looked completely lost for 40 minutes? The Fever were playing like they were strangers who had never seen each other before, let alone practiced together for months. Now, let's talk about Aaliyah Boston, and I want to be fair here because she's catching a lot of heat. 4 points in 30 minutes is absolutely unacceptable for a player of her caliber. There's no sugarcoating that. When she got the ball into the basket, she was passing it back out instead of taking the shot. That's not killer instinct. That's not the aggression we need from our supposed star. But here's the thing. She's not being coached properly. A good coach would have her in positions to succeed, would be demanding excellence from her, would be getting in her face when she's playing soft. Instead, what do we get from White? Arms crossed, standing around, letting players do whatever they want. There's no accountability, no fire, no demand for excellence. AB needs structure, needs someone pushing her to be aggressive, needs plays designed to get her easy looks. Instead, she's floating around the perimeter like she's going to be Nikola Jokic. The most infuriating part about all of this is that the Fever were playing like it didn't matter if they won. No urgency, no energy, no pride. Meanwhile, the Valkyries came off a back-to-back game where they beat Washington by 30, and they're the ones with energy while we're dragging our feet after a day off. Too many players chucking up threes that weren't falling, but they kept trying. No adjustment from the coaching staff. No changing of strategy, just the same broken offense, the same confused defense, the same lack of leadership from the sideline. Here's what I think is really happening, and some of you aren't going to like this. Stephanie White is doing exactly what she was brought in to do: sink the fever. Think about it. The front office knew exactly what they were getting when they hired her. They saw what happened at Vanderbilt. They saw the track record.
But the joke's on us, because we believed the hype. We thought things would be different. We thought she'd learned, grown, evolved as a coach. Instead, we're getting the same mediocre, outdated basketball that doesn't work in today's WNBA. Here's the harsh reality that every Fever fan needs to accept. As long as Stephanie White is coaching this team, we're going to continue to underachieve. She doesn't know how to develop players. Reason number 1 for all our problems? Coach White! Reason number 2? Go back to reason number 1! The Fever organization needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask themselves, is this really the standard we're willing to accept? Let me know in the comments what you think about this disaster of a performance. Are you as fed up with Stephanie White as I am? Drop your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next video.